The Yu-Gi-Oh ban list is coming out soon. Soon. When that motherfucker coming out? And while your boy may not have the keys to the ban list just yet, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for close to 20 years. Goddamn, I'm old. And the insight that I can give to you is worth its weight in gold right now. Basically, I'm saying there's some Yu-Gi-Oh decks that will be the very best, the future meta Yu-Gi-Oh decks. And I'm gonna tell you why in this video. But before we get into this, I am Leon, and this is TheCaliEffect. I hope that your day is going phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. I'll also be putting some personal deck lists on my Patreon as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. Without further ado, let's jump on in. There's a couple of things they don't want you to know about Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Seriously, there is a couple of things that players do not want you to know about Yu-Gi-Oh right now. The first one is that the ban list is very much coming one day, but it's actually the perfect time to pick up a very powerful Yu-Gi-Oh deck. We're in the very beginning stages of the new Yu-Gi-Oh season, and what you do could very much change your entire outcome of how the situation is going to progress. As they say, proper planning prevents poor performance, and just like how you would plan a date, you should actually take that same logic and apply it to Yu-Gi-Oh. Even if some of y'all don't know what a woman is. No, it's not a type of Yu-Gi-Oh card. Kinda. With that being said, Yu-Gi-Oh players are picking up strategies that have a very low chance of being hit by the ban list, could be better under the right circumstances, or are getting future support that makes the deck incredible. A deck that I actually think fits the entire trifecta is Vanquish Soul. Recently, Vanquish Soul has been giving out more tops than my ex, which at this point in time should be deemed as an accomplishment. But Vanquish Soul has a unique playstyle where it transfers into formats where fire, dark, and earth monsters are really powerful. We already know that dark monsters roll deeper than roaches in the hood, and earth monsters have a ridiculous amount of support. What's been really cool as of recent is that fire monsters have been getting a ton of support, starting with cards like Divine Carnate Kirakara, and then even getting more support inside of the Duelist Nexus set and Soul Burning Volcano. Now, we already know that Divine Carnate Kirakara is one of the best monsters, and it's not because she has a tail. Fire monsters have been getting an influx of amount of support that only will make Vanquish Soul stronger, but the best thing about this deck is that in Age of Overlord, this deck gets even stronger itself. Vanquish Soul Xylong not only gives the deck another powerful fire target that can search other Vanquish Soul cards, Vanquish Soul Snow Devil literally is one of the best cards wrapped up into one in the entire set. My guy, it summon, it protect, it destroy, and it burn. Damn, this card's like baking soda. What doesn't it do? I'm gonna tell you what this card won't do is get you a girlfriend. That's impossible. Unless you are part of the Shadow Gang, so subscribe. But that's not the only thing that's on fire right now. I personally think that Konami is taking a liking to the attribute because it's so underdeveloped that they can pretty much dictate the power and the pace of these particular strategies. You got something that's ridiculously overpowered? Make it a fire. By changing the attribute of the particular card, it becomes way less stronger, and that's why I think Rescue Ace has no chance of being hit by the ban list. Let's face it, if the races were Dark and Cyberse, then they'd be most likely banned. Last week in my budget video, I talked about how this deck is a very powerful budget deck. Today, I'm gonna be telling you if you pick up this strategy, you really won't regret it. The deck can actually make a ton of powerful extra deck monsters despite not having any of them to its archetypal name. Take, for example, Firewall Terahertz is incredible in this deck. It actually covers a weakness by protecting its back row, but also can be used as a way to disrupt the opponent and summon a huge monster and take a chunk out of your opponent's life points. But that's not where the deck stops when it comes to cool extra deck monsters. It can also make monsters like Decode Talker, Heat Soul easily, Access Code Talker even easier, and even monsters like Solomon Great Sunlight. Damn, this might be a Cyberse deck. The extra deck potential for Rescue Ace is almost unlimited, and when Age of Overlord comes out, the deck only gets even stronger. The Diablo Star cards give you more consistency to be able to summon a level 1 fire monster from your deck, and I just so happen to know a card that dogs may like to piss on that happens to be level 1 in fire. The card is Kirakara. My dog likes to piss on Kirakara. It's freaky. But speaking of Cyberse, another powerful strategy that actually stands to gain from the ban list is Solomon Gray. Solomon Gray, touchdown! Let's go! That was not a smart idea! Now, Solomon Grade has actually been pretty successful since Soul Burning Volcano came out. I even made a deck profile that you guys can go ahead and check out, and I'll be putting an updated list on my Patreon. This is gonna be a fire Yu-Gi-Oh deck. The biggest reason why this deck is in a better space is because of the new Solomon Grade Fire, which is just simply a Adagnister Achichi retrain. You think I didn't notice, Konami? Look at this. This is literally, hey, can I copy your homework? Sure, just don't make it look the same. It's the same! But what Solomon Grade Fire has done alongside of Solomon Grade Pyro Phoenix is greatly boost the consistency of the deck to 2023 standards to make it a contender. Like, the deck has actually been topping and doing things before the ban list, and it has something on it that can make it even stronger. If Solomon Grade Gazelle does come off the forbidden list, this strategy would get a huge boost, taking it from just a contender to possibly even a top contender. And it's not like Konami has a reason to do that, right? No, they have no reason to do that. Konami didn't just drop a box set that did so terrible that it's selling for half its distribution price right now, right? Right? I mean, hypothetically, if they did, it would make economical sense for them to do it to try to recover on this terrible loss. And while we're talking about decks that received incredible support to make them top contenders, I think that Unchained is not only a safe pickup, it's one of the best decks, if not the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I'm telling you, Unchained is the best deck. It's unstoppable. What you doing to this, my guy? Nothing can beat this deck. I just want Fiends to be great again, my guy. Unchained is another powerful budget Yu-Gi-Oh strategy from Duelist Nexus that I talked about on my previous video, but to give you a little bit of a breakdown, the reason why I think that this deck is so powerful is because it can survive in Yu-Gi-Oh formats where the other decks that I mentioned before are really good. Basically, what I'm saying is some of the best counter cards to those particular strategies completely do not affect Unchained whatsoever. Also, since I talked about the strength and weaknesses on Unchained on the last video, what I actually want to talk about is the deck's versatility. I mean, sure, the deck can be a pure deck, but maybe you ain't a whole demon out there. Maybe you a half demon. There's been recent success with Unchained players using live twin cards as an engine to be able to draw and destroy cards, and then there's also the new Fire King support that we're going to get later on down the road that involves destroying cards. Hey, it is a deck built on soul and destroying, like my ex-girlfriend. My guy, that means multiple things. She was a demon in the sheets. What a lot of players have been looking to for future support is an Unchained Labyrinth variant, and Labyrinth actually does get a new card in the Age of Overlord set. This card is actually really crazy, but seeing that you can activate the set trap card and Unchained do play normal trap cards, you can kind of see some cool things that can work here. And while Unchained may lock you into summoning only Fiend monsters, the Labyrinth deck just so happens to be only Fiend monsters. I'm liking this. Unchained is a strategy that a lot of the top players are privy to, but I should probably start making some videos about the deck because you really need to learn about this deck. And speaking of such, I'm actually going to talk about another deck that I don't think that a lot of people are really hip to, but one thing I do think is that you should jump on it. Seriously, this deck is extremely good, but if your deck didn't make this list, I want you to let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think are some decks that could really dominate the meta in the future? I genuinely want to give hope to this strategy because it is a TCG exclusive, and Konami has been doing really well with TCG exclusives. Off the top of my head, the Gold Pride monsters and the Dangers, holy, hey, yo! I think that there's some huge potential with the Testina monsters. These cards are no slouch. Unfortunately, we don't get to see no tits in Testina, but we know that this deck is built on flipping things face down. Kind of like how I like them. Come on, guy, you know I like feed monsters. I'm a whole demon out there. But in all seriousness, we know that the book cards are extremely good in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. So good that I actually rated them very high on my staples tier list. The Testina monsters are walking book of moons that can take full advantage of this situation. The Testina monsters also have a nasty effect, more than just flipping things face down. Any other card face up, your opponent has to send to the graveyard. I don't think you guys are really hearing that. Bro, continuous spells, continuous traps, field spells, all them things to the graveyard is just a little bit more powerful than what you are giving credit. Now, I will say that this is a TCG exclusive and this could go either way. The Danger cards as well as the Punk monsters are kind of an anomaly, especially when you consider that Konami decided to make War Rock as a TCG exclusive one point in time. Ooh, Oh yeah, yeah, that's hit and miss. One thing that I do know is that Age of Overlord will decide if Tistina is good or not. I want to actually have these cards and start playing with the deck right now, and rather than wait until Age of Overlord and see the cards and be like, oh my god, this deck's busted. And that's all that I have for what I think the future meta Yu-Gi-Oh decks are. Again, if you guys think that there are some other future meta decks, something that nobody is looking out for, go ahead and let me know down below. Also, be sure to join that Shadow Gang by subscribing. The fellas want to be like you, the ladies love you, and everything is cool over here. As long as you are doing that and checking out these other videos, so I can catch you on the next one, big dog.